And for 2019, the Essential trim level with the Sensory package is one of the range-topping models for the QX50. There's not too much else you can get on this one that it doesn't have already. Well, I guess one option it doesn't have is the Autograph package, which kind of gives you like this light quilted, like light gray interior. A lot of people are kind of scared of lighter interior colors, but aside from that, this has everything else. Absolutely beautiful. You know, in the lower trim levels, leatherette is what you get, but with the Essential package and upwards for 2019, you get this beautiful perforated leather interior, and you have this nice contrasting like microfiber and contrast stitching on the seats, and then you have that microfiber and contrast stitching in the doors and on the dashboard. Really beautiful upscale interior. They did an amazing job with it. It's absolutely beautiful. You have a nice leather wrap steering wheel paddle shifters. We have a full suite of driver's assistance features and safety features. We have a blind spot warning, blind spot intervention, lane departure warning, lane departure intervention. We have Pro Pilot Assist, which will basically gives you steering assist, will keep you centered in the lane. That pairs nicely with the adaptive cruise control. We have a heads-up display, so it projects how fast you're going right on the windshield, so you don't have to look down off the road and be distracted. It's a nice feature. If you find it annoying, of course, you can shut off the heads-up display with that button right there. And we have heated and cooled front seats. The only way to get heated and cooled front seats for 2019 is with the Sensory trim level. So if you want that, you got to get one of a Sensory. And here we have a dual display system. The top screen is for navigation and parking camera. We have a 360-degree around view camera. The bottom screen is a tablet-like interface for vehicle settings and apps. So we have a drive mode selector here. So that will make changes to the steering effort, throttle sensitivity, traction, stability control settings as personal, sport, standard, and eco. You can also drill down a little bit deep, and you know, access it here and personalize it. So you can choose sport, eco, standard for the transmission. This has a direct adaptive steering. In fact, this is a feature they actually ended up dropping on the QX50 and pretty much all the Infinitis, which is sad because it was a really awesome system. I think 2021 might have been the last year for the system, if I remember correctly. And it's not a new system. They've had this system since 2014. We first saw it on the Q50. So basically it's steer by wire. So it's a completely computerized steering rack. So there's no mechanical connection to the front wheels. It's all handled by computers and electric motors. And it has a lot of benefits. It can react to steering inputs faster than a mechanical rack. So instantaneous steering inputs. It can filter out unwanted feedback. Maybe you'd hit a pothole or rut in the road, which would jerk the wheel. That will get filtered out. So just filter in the feedback you do want and filter out the feedback that you don't want. And then it pairs nicely with the systems like the lane keeping assist and stuff like that. But you can also take full control over the feel of the steering. So you have standard and sport mode. Then when you get the sport mode, you have 3 settings on top of that. You have default, dynamic, and dynamic plus. So that will change the ratio, the steering ratio, the weight of the wheel. So you can have it kind of a lighter luxury type steering, or you can have it like a faster, heavier, kind of like a sports car. And this thing can be pretty fun to drive. Then we have active trace control. That will break individual wheels to help you rotate through the corners a little bit better. You can shut that system on or off. Active engine braking. Engine braking is a natural tendency for the vehicle to slow down when you remove your foot off the gas. Active engine braking is a little bit more involved. For instance, like if you use lower gears on the transmission, that will encourage the car to slow down a little bit faster, so you'll use the brakes a little bit less, hopefully saving on brake life. That could be one of the benefits of the active engine braking. Then we have driver's assistance. So we have lots of driver's assistance features. So we have we have distance control assist. So distance control assist is not a safety feature, it's more of a driver's assistance feature, which when there's fast approaching traffic, the vehicle will automatically slow down. Don't always, assume the vehicle is going to slow down. If you can do it yourself, I always recommend, because, sometimes, 99% of the time these systems work great, but don't always depend on the systems. Stop the car if you see fast approaching traffic. But if you don't, the car usually has your back. Then we have a lane departure warning, a lane departure prevention. We have a blind spot warning and blind spot intervention. We have a Pro Pilot steering assist, so it'll keep you centered and steer on the highway. And that works greatly with the adaptive cruise control, the full speed cruise control. Really awesome stuff. We have a nice microfiber headliner. Big panoramic roof to allow lots of natural light in the interior. It opens. We have a power sunshade to dim things down. We have a universal garage door opener. Bose sound system and memory seats. Also the sensory package, you have these upgraded wheels. These wheels really make the QX50 pop. The standard wheels look okay, but you know, it's nothing to write home about. But when you see the QX50 with these wheels, it's, wow, this is a striking vehicle. It's beautiful. It's kind of amazing how wheels can make such a dramatic difference in the look of the vehicle, but they really do. And then we have a clamshell design on the front hood. This just goes to show you how you know, far Infiniti designers were going to make this thing look good. Usually when the fender meets the hood, there's an unsightly line that goes right here, but what they did with the clamshell design, the line is right here and it ties into the body lines all the way to the rear. The QX50 is quite a striking vehicle. Not always easy to make these QX, you know, these crossover SUVs look good. Crossover SUVs are more popular than anything right now, you know, so we have to make them. But you know, it's hard to make these crossover SUVs, which kind of like an egg or jelly bean shape. On wheels, it'll look as sleek and sexy as a Cooper sedan, but Infiniti did a great job, especially the front end styling, very reminiscent of our Q50 and Q60, you know, sport luxury coupe and sedan. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful automobiles. 2019 was the first year you get a power rear liftgate on the QX50. For some people who are kind of shorter in stature, it's hard to reach up and pull the tailgate down, so having that power liftgate is actually a must-have feature for some people. I remember losing a deal on an older generation QX50, which, you know, they're great vehicles, but yeah, we had a customer, she was just too short and she couldn't reach the tailgate, and she's like, I'm sorry, I need a power liftgate. We have a cargo area cover, which is easily removable if you want to fold down those seats for more cargo space, and we have a cargo area protector. A little bit extra storage under here. This one actually has a tow package on it, so I think that was like a $2,000 option if I remember correctly. Front wheel drive is standard on the QX50. Intelligent all-wheel drive is optional. Of course, this one has the intelligent all-wheel drive. The reason why it's intelligent is because when all-wheel drive is not needed, it will be 100% front-wheel drive to help save on gas. If the all-wheel drive system's constantly working all the time, it's gonna you know, create more drag on the vehicles, and it's going to use more gas. So that's why they have that front-wheel drive bias. And often, you know, sometimes you can chew through tires a little bit faster too, if the all-wheel drive system constantly working all the time. And one of the coolest aspects of the QX50 is this amazing variable compression turbocharged engine. Infiniti was working 20 years on this engine technology. 2019 is the first year we saw it on an Infiniti product. Now we're starting to see these VC turbo engines pop up on some Nissan products like the Altima and the Rogue. So it can mechanically change the compression ratio on the fly. By making small changes to the cylinder volume, it can make big changes to the compression ratio of the engine. So let's say you're doing kind of easy does it driving, you don't need all that power, the car can tell, so it'll calibrate the engine to have a 14:1 compression ratio, which will make you get maximum fuel efficiency. But maybe you have the drive mode selector in sport mode, you're getting aggressive with the throttle, well, the car can tell you want, you know, more power. It'll very quickly change the compression ratio to an 8:1 compression ratio, which will calibrate the engine for maximum horsepower and torque, which is 268 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. In fact, it actually makes more torque. This little 4-cylinder engine makes more torque than the outgoing V6 that this engine replaces. Pretty amazing. You have these cube design LED headlights for amazing nighttime visibility. One beautiful example of a QX50, very clean condition, reasonably low miles, serviced and checked by our Infiniti certified techs. In fact, who better to buy a pre-owned Infiniti from than a new Infiniti retailer like us. Our techs work on these vehicles on a daily basis and they're very, very familiar with them. Thank you for taking the time today to watch this video. Hopefully see you soon and have a wonderful day.